The climate is changing, the earth is not flat, and Tupac is not alive. These are all facts. The terms climate and weather, although often used interchangeably, are distinct from each other, in that climate describes average meteorological conditions and variability over a much longer period and a much wider geographical space. Climate change is mostly used when referring to the phenomenon of global warming and associated downstream effects. Now would not be the first time the Earth underwent a period of warming. Although the actual cause or causes are debatable, the Earth previously went through a rapid period of warming known as the Paleocene Eocene thermal maximum, or PETM. The increase in global temperature by more than 5 degrees Celsius resulted in mass extinctions at the time. Besides the PETM, the Earth is known to go through natural changes in movement known as the Milankovitch cycles. These changes affect the solar radiation received by the Earth, which in turn affects the climate. Now this should muddy the waters and cause confusion as it pertains to the reasons for contemporary climate change. Undoubtedly, the anthropogenic emission of greenhouse gases such as carbon dioxide is a major cause of modern global warming. Globally, climate change is linked to an increase in the frequency of extreme weather events, mass coral bleaching, and an acceleration of coastal erosion rates. Unfortunately, because of climate sensitivity, these effects are expected to continue for several decades, regardless of measures to curtail carbon dioxide emission rates. Adapting to climate change is therefore mandatory. Climate change is also expected to cause several physical, ecological, social, and economic impacts on a global level. In this session, we will narrow our focus and examine the effects of climate change on workers. Global warming is expected to affect the type, quantity, and distribution of weeds, insects, and pathogens. It may also introduce invasive pest species in some areas. There is also a projected increase in the rate of reproduction and replication of vectors and infectious agents. Incidents of infectious diseases such as malaria and dengue are expected to rise as global temperatures increase. Other diseases such as hantavirus pulmonary syndrome, West Nile virus, Lyme disease, and brucellosis are also expected to increase. The climate-induced changes in weed, insect, and pathogen distribution can increase diseases carried by insects and rodents, as well as heat-related illnesses, waterborne, foodborne, and respiratory diseases. Workers who generally make direct contact with certain types of weeds, insects, and animals are at risk of being injured or contracting several diseases. Agricultural workers and pest control officers will also require larger quantities of pesticides and weedicides to control pests and weeds. This would put workers at additional risk of being exposed to potentially dangerous quantities of these toxic substances. There are several types of pesticides. Some are known to be carcinogenic and others cause damages to the kidney, liver, and nervous system. Adding to potential health risks are the climate-induced biochemical changes that increases the toxicity of pesticides and other substances that agricultural and other types of workers might be exposed to in the work environment. Furthermore, increasing temperatures and rainfall might also limit the time that workers can safely operate outdoors. Various climate models predict that Earth's average temperature could increase by 1.1 to 5.4 degrees Celsius by the year 2100. Increases in temperatures can affect several workers, including those who work outdoors as well as those who work indoors. Agricultural workers, construction workers, and warehouse workers are all types of workers that will be affected by increasing temperatures. High temperatures can cause serious problems such as kidney disease and cardiovascular problems such as chronic obstructive pulmonary disease. There are other minor issues that are also caused by increasing temperatures, such as heat cramps and malaria. You can check out our video describing the NIOSH Heat Stress app that can be used to help protect workers operating in hot conditions. Hot temperatures and droughts are known to increase the risk of wildfires. The frequency of both is expected to increase as the climate changes. These effects are not uniform, however. Evidence suggests that droughts are increasing in some regions and decreasing in others. Wildfires are expected to increase in areas where the conditions are expected to be drier. Fire officers are the primary responders to wildfires. They are at risk of suffering from burns, smoke inhalation, cardiac arrest, and physical injuries associated with falling trees. Firefighters are also at risk of developing rhabdomyolysis, which can be described as a complex medical condition involving the rapid dissolution of damaged or injured skeletal muscles. Climate change is predicted to have a significant impact on extreme weather events such as flooding and hurricanes. Although research on the potential effect of climate change on hurricanes is inconclusive, there is a growing body of evidence that alludes to a direct relationship between global warming and increasing hurricane intensity and frequency. Hurricanes cause severe infrastructural damage as well as exacerbate the erosion of coastlines in some areas. Hurricanes are usually accompanied by flooding events. Flooding can also occur after prolonged rainfall and can be worsened by sea level rises, of which climate change is a major contributor. Overall, flooding increases the risk of vector-borne diseases such as cholera. The types of workers that would most be affected by extreme weather events include rescue and recovery workers and those workers charged with cleanup and restoration duties. Responding to extreme weather events and working in hot temperatures can affect the mental health of workers. There is an additional burden on the health workers and rescue and recovery workers who may work long, exhausting hours during disaster events. The increased psychological stress would inevitably affect the ability of these workers to operate effectively. Furthermore, the ability to make sound decisions and exercise good judgment is compromised when a worker is stressed. This can lead to accidents and injuries. Fortunately, a lot of research is being conducted on how we can protect our workers from the threats created by a changing climate. Hope you guys enjoyed the video. See you in the next one.